Good afternoon, gardeners. I know it looks more like I'm doing laundry than giving you an update on my garden, but it's been cold in Florida and I've been covering up some of my orchids that I leave outside, and I've been bringing them in the house off and on, so they have looked better, but there's a few things going on. There hasn't been a lot going on, and what's gone on has gone on rather slowly, so I really haven't recorded anything, but I got something new for my birthday, and which is in late December, and so that's caused me to rework all my orchids, and it is that right there. I'll show it to you close up in a minute. Yeah, and so I moved everything, and I decided to leave this northern facing area open just so a little bit more light could get into the screen porch. I'm always battling light, so let's just get right into it. My phals, I left them out and covered them the last cold spell, and I think they didn't like it so much. And yeah, these are much older and they didn't seem to have any problem with it. In fact, this one has a bloom spike. I also left them out last night, but I really covered them, so I think they're okay. The thing about orchids though, sometimes they turn black, die immediately, leaves fall off, but sometimes it takes a long time to see the results. They die slowly. Alright, so this is the one that had the one bloom spike that blasted on the end. Well, guess what? Something's coming out the side. And then the big bloom spike one is still going, and it's starting to create little buds. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. And then this one, this is an old bloom spike I never cut off. And look what it did. It made one bloom on here. I don't know if it's going to do more. It feels kind of hardened off there, so probably not. These phals are trying to do stuff. Keep telling them, wait, just wait a little longer. My Rhamatophyllum that I transplanted into this pot with no medium. I'm trying to find the right amount of watering for it. It's okay. It would be nice if it seemed to have more root growth coming out of it, so I felt better about it, but this is where we are. It is winter, so maybe the timing was bad. Alright, so this is still hanging on the long leaves. Yeah. Yeah. My Catasetum is, this is kind of pushed down. I almost think more from being covered up this time. I think the last time I brought it in the house, it didn't seem happy in there. I think it's pushed down from having things over it. This guy is trying to get dehydrated. And then this guy, this other Catasetum, yep. Oh, I need to turn that around. I want to bloom this direction. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm continuing to give these two water. Not water like it's spring, but some water. This Bulbophyllum, this newer Bulbophyllum, I may have caused some brown tips too, because it came to me like that, but I might have caused some as well. Because I read an article about reducing water in the winter, and I may have done that on some that really didn't want it. Yeah, the leafless orchids are still all alive. At least one of these is on here, and this still has some green leaves, green roots, although lots more brown all the time. And then this one, originally there was 3, there's only been 2 for a while. I moved my Vandas over here. They're going to get a little more light. I think that might make them happy. I hope. This guy that I always worry about has this new little shoot coming out, so I feel kind of good about that. This guy's got some brown spots. I suspect from leaving outside and covering it up. I'm not sure. Alrighty. My Neophonetia. There's been a couple little brown leaves that I've taken out of here. There's one, but not a ton. And I try to water it every day with the Vandas, although I don't even know if once a day is enough. And this quit blooming. I don't remember if I got it into its fullest and greatest when in an old video, but it was a delightful scent and a light yellow flower. Okay, so here's the main reason for my video today, and this is a new display unit that I got for my birthday, and it is a triangular grid. You can see probably better by looking through it at the base, and it is on wheels, and I just have orchids hanging on all three sides, depending on the light level that they like and where they were before, kind of thing. Yeah, so there's, oh, and my Oncidium Cherry Baby is in full bloom. It's wet, I just watered, so I'm not going to get a scent off of it right now. But no, it's in full bloom. You can just see I have tons of orchids there. And I moved some of the cats that were where the Vandas are now, and I didn't think getting enough sun over here. I've got to keep a close eye that they don't get too much sun, because this one here was in the same spot for so many years. So make sure I don't sunburn him. And of course, there are always dendrobiums blooming, and this is my favorite one, and it actually, we missed most of it. Bloomed while I wasn't filming, but it does have one bloom left. There's a few other little things here, but mostly these are dendrobiums, big dendrobiums closest to the window, or the screen, followed by cattleyas, and then those bulbophyllums that were on the other side. I think they needed just a little more light too. I may move these dens that are at the bottom here. Excuse me, Eddie. Eddie's gotten so old he just stays between my feet. I may move these on to here, this shelf here, and move the bulbs down here, because they did start out there one time and they did pretty good. But yeah. And this one is completely leafless now. The yeah, it's completely leafless, but it is deciduous. It's not dead. That's what I'm telling myself. No, it is. And then, like this one's still hanging on. And I noticed that some of these leaves have just started turning yellow, and that may be from having nights of cold. I brought this in last time, but last night I just covered it. So it'll be interesting to see. I need to turn this one around, because all the foliage is on the screen, just like that other one. I'll do that. More dendrobium blooms. So that's where we are in my little garden. This guy's hanging a different direction than he ever has before, so we'll see how that works for him. I did, when I brought them in a couple weeks ago or whatever, did find a little bit of scale on this one. Very little, but I did find some. And then some on this one. So I'm watching my cattleyas really closely for scale. And just general, if anybody's declining, sometimes I go looking and that's when I find it. Hi, Eddie. Ed's an old boy. But yeah, there's my new toy, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, I haven't decided on the light level for the Cymbidium yet. It was right here where the Neophonetia is, so it's not that far from where it was before, and it seemed okay. So that's what we have going on. We have a lot more light coming in here right now. Just by opening that side up. And it gives the Vandas just a little bit more room to spread out away from each other as well. I think it's an improvement. You tell me what you think. But I think it's very cool. My husband got that rack from like a restaurant, retail store. Maybe it was just a retail store supply. It's like a fixture that they would use in a retail where they would put those arms that come off of it and they could hang socks or purses or even clothes, I guess, off of it. But it is a coated metal. They had a stainless steel one, I think, or galvanized steel one. But they said they would rest that. A lot of people were buying these for orchids, even though it's a retail fixture store. But he said, yeah, get this kind. And it's like a, what do they call that? Like a powder paint? I can't remember. The kind of, isn't it the process they use on appliances? Like your mixer, if you want your mixture a different color. I forget what they call it. But anyway, really like it. And I didn't want 4 sides because I didn't think it would fit well. And I didn't want 2 sides because it'd be a narrow, wouldn't hold a lot. So I thought 3 might be perfect. They do have them on, I think Amazon and stuff. I think I saw some. And that's the picture I showed him was from Amazon. But he went to a local place and got some because he used to be in retail. So he's very aware of the company that does them. So let me turn my Aristocrat around since he's one of my oldest and favorites. And then I'm going back in the house because it's a little chilly out here for Florida. You all have a great fun day. See you again in the future.